repeat. If our parents abused us, so often we seek somebody who continues that. Hopefully some people realize it and go the other direction, but not always.
So you think that will be very necessary to create one school for women, to teach women to love themselves first?
Yeah,
It needs to.
right?
It needs to be something that's just paramount. It's something that men need to love themselves too. I mean, women have put an awful pressure on men to fill them up and make things different. And sure, there's some real issues with the male side at times, but there's some fabulous men out there. And we need not to point our fingers at other people. We need to take full responsibility for ourselves and not be a victim any longer. And so often when we are a victim, we don't realize that that's what's happening. We need to unlearn that. We need to learn not to fall into that old story. We need to be able to create new stories of that power within us to love ourselves and forgive ourselves, and to not be ashamed to step forward and say, no, you can't treat me like this. And we need to unite as women. We need to support one another. We need to support ourselves in loving and honoring each other. So many other clans and tribes and other indigenous worlds, the women, you know, they lived and worked together to support each other, and the men went and did what they had to do to bring the food home. And our society has gotten very strange about that.
Women, we do everything almost.
Well, and there's a disconnect from family, because so often people don't like being with the rest of their family. They've chosen families that are hard to be in. And so instead of living together in an interdependent way, they've struck out on their own, and then it becomes even more difficult. It's a very, it's not an easy solution, but it is there. It's a matter of being aware of it and awaken to it and start to move forward in acknowledgement and getting rid of the parts of ourselves that do not feel worthy, that do not want to be loved, that do not want to honor or be honored. And that's part of what I do, is to help people clean out those aspects of ourselves that really reinforce pain and suffering and sadness. And I want people to understand it's not like they go out saying, oh, you know, hit me, but it's all this psychological debris that's, kind of call it, under the waterline, like an iceberg. You know, the consciousness part we experience is only the very tip of the iceberg, and there's all this subconscious, unconscious energy below, and that really is what runs the show. We think the conscious self has really got it, but the obstacles and the resistance really comes from below the waterline. And that's another part of what I do, is to help people clear those parts out